In this particular trace table, there are quite a few things going on, so it becomes quite complicated. Let's have a look at where we're starting. We're starting first of all with a high temperature of 0, and then we've got a low temperature of 1000, and our C, which is our counter, is set at 0. So down here we've got 0, 1000, and then C is 0, and then the first temperature 14 comes in. When the first temperature comes in, T 14, we then look to see if it's less than the low temperature. Low temperature is 1000, so that does become 14. Low temperature becomes 14, and then we move around this way. High temperature, well again that's higher than 0, and then we set that. Then we move down to here, C is C plus 1, it's gone to 1, and then we check to see if C is equal to 6. Well, C is actually 1, so it isn't equal to 6, so I go back up here for my next input of 4. Okay, so I'm going to do that with several inputs. I'm just going to put this column in here so I can remember what my inputs are. 6, 20, 8, and then 1. So those are my inputs. And I now trace through the table. So the T4 comes in. Is it less than low temperature? Yes, it's 4. Obviously, it's not greater than the highest temperature, which is still 14. My counter moves up to 2 as I wend my way around. I'm just going to take those arrows out, clean up the diagram a bit. Okay, so we're now going to look at what happens when T is 6. Well, when T is 6, is it less than the low temperature? Well, the low temperature is 4, so no. So my low temperature will stay the same. Goes down here. Is 6 greater than the highest temperature? No, that's 14. So that one just goes straight through here. It doesn't branch off to the side. Then C is 3. So now 20 comes in, which is obviously greater than the highest temperature. It's not lower than the lowest temperature of 4. And C then goes to 4. At this point, we now get 8. Well, that isn't greater than the highest temperature. Again, not lower than the low temperature. And that goes to 5. My final temperature of 1 comes in. Temperature is 20. It is, in this case, lower than the low temperature, so I follow that here. And that becomes 1. And then there's no more T's, that's 1. C is now 6. So when C gets to 6 here, I output the low temperature. So I'm outputting the low temperature of 1. And then I'm going to output the highest temperature, which is 20. I can leave these in because they're still there values, and that's the trace table completed.